Is that a tree? What's hanging from it? Must be a way across. Relic. The gods. Are they dead? How can this be?
Ever-tightening cursed branches constrict the great dwarven god Duna. His eyelids flutter, and his face, bluish and bloated, nods. Ralik hangs limp from the tree, cursed branches constricting him, snake-like from foot to shoulders. His helmeted head hangs slack at his side, but a barely audible wheeze rasps from his...
Ifan! Hurry!
Amadia hangs before you, her face cut and bruised, her chest barely moving. You think you see a tear run down her cheek. You lean in. That's no tear. It's sauce. The shimmering liquid is seeping from her wounds and dripping to the ground below her. Before you hangs a great ethereal orc, his face twisted in a knot of pain as cursed tendrils constrict him. A small, stout imp winces under the countless cursed threads that bind her. Tight coils wrap Tyr Sendelius from head to foot. His still face is set to a glowering sneer. Cursed tendrils tighten around Zorstissa. Her lips are moving, but no words seem able to escape her lips. Ralik hangs limp from the tree. His helmeted head hangs slack at his side.
Ifan!
Amadia hangs before you. You lean in. As the cursed branches slither away from Ralik, he raises his head. Green eyes glint with sudden fire from behind his helmet.
Are we the first? The others, do they hang still upon the tree?
He strains at the ethereal ropes that bind him, resisting their grip.
You must make haste! I am bound, but not defeated. Not yet. This is not the work of fate. It is the work of the void. It will come for our people. It will destroy us all. You are my chosen. Now you must become the champion of our kind. The champion of humanity. I have survived our enemies. You must do more than that. You cannot comprehend what it is, but you know full well what it wants. The void will not stop until it has devoured us all. It thinks it has defeated me, defeated all the gods. But it underestimates human might. Your might, Ifan Ben Mezd, Slayer of Black Ring, Silver Claw, Champion of Ralik.
His eyes flash bright green. He struggles against his binds, to no avail.
You will show it, You will show them all! You have already unleashed some of the powers locked within you. But there is a great well of possibilities still untapped. You cannot stop until you ascend to the highest heights of your power. You cannot stop until you become divine.
He opens his mouth to respond, but stops and tilts his head, listening for something you cannot detect.
I hear the void. I hear it calling. I hear it laughing. It's coming! It's here! If it finds you here, if it finds you!
Ralik's face twists in fear. He opens his mouth as if to scream, but no sound. White-hot cold pierces your heart like a blade. You are frozen to the spot. The burning cold pumps.
What's happened here? Where is everyone?
The same troubled look is visible on each face. You've seen the gods beaten and defiled, strung up as a warning.
The gods are dead. Long live the God-woken. If the Seven should indeed come to nothing, I'll be ready to take their place.
I've got my weapon, I've got my wits. And now, I've got a new enemy. If the Void wants me, well, I say let it come. I'm ready.
Gods, schmods. They aren't interested in me, and I'm not interested in them. It seems whatever's inside me is more powerful than any of them anyway. Or at least more cunning.
Where is everybody?
Hidden away somewhere, safe from the storm, I hope.
It's so cold. I haven't felt cold in centuries. What happened? I just remember... Oh no. No, that can't be right. This is... wonderful! What a fascinating experience! And I will be able to spend eternity studying you creatures. No more having to watch from the shadows. No more having to walk mysterious social tightropes.
The skeleton pulls a notebook from the folds of his robes and starts scribbling. As you walk away, you hear him muttering about Observations on the Mortal Races, Volume 1. Sabile's spirit watches your approach like a spectator on a beach watches the waves roll in with a soothing inevitability.
There we have it, don't we, dear? The final die has been cast and it's come up wanting. I do not know what awaits. I do not see where the dark paths lead. Forsake me now. Go hence and give chase to your mortal desires. From death.
Where have you been? I can't keep this up much longer. We need to go. There's no time. I can't hold us here. Brace yourself. This might hurt. A lot.
chill of the Hall of Echoes clung to the Lady Vengeance as it returned to the shores of Reaper's Coast. The Godwoken were alive, but what of the gods?
Solid ground materializes beneath your feet. Your weight falls back into your body all at once, and bright sunlight stings your eyes. As your eyes adjust, you realize you're still aboard the Lady Vengeance. A gust of fresh sea air caresses you, and warm sunshine prickles your skin.
Oh, one moment, please. Oh, just a moment.
Malady explodes in a fit of retching that racks her body. At last, she sneezes and expels a glob of something shiny and silver onto the deck. It wriggles quickly off the siding and plummets into the sea with a splash.
Ah, better. Let's not do that again anytime soon, hmm? Oh, don't start. It was all I could do to save a few of them. It's no mean feat bringing an entire ship full of unspent souls to the Hall of Echoes, you know. I managed all the interesting ones, though. You're welcome. I do hope you learned something useful on our little field trip. Desperate how? Oh, fine. 1, spooky magic. 2, only half a demon, actually. My mother was a bitter elf named Loda. 3, just a bit of leftover effluvia from the spell. 4, more than I can count. 5, something too horrible to mention by the light of day. And now that I've answered every question a sane person could conceive to ask of me in this moment, let's carry on. What I see... So, your god seemed uncharacteristically frightened, told you the void was coming, and that only you could ascend to divinity, after which you felt a cold deep within you. Well then, it sounds like you need to ascend, doesn't it? And quickly.
She inspects her fingernails with great attention, then looks up at you from under an arched eyebrow.
Did they mention how you were meant to become the next divine? Oh, what confidence you inspire. Luckily for you, Mama Malady is here to help. We already know you can bless, but as far as I know, you can neither see source nor take it as you see fit. I may not know much about divinity, but I do know that any godwoken worth their salt will know how to perform all these oh so fantastic feats. You need to go see the Meister. As have I, but not in the ways a true godwoken can. Forget those ghastly little jars and wands to which small people must resort. You ought to be able to see and speak to the spirits that wander our realm, and you ought to be able to extract the source they leave behind, too. All this just by your little old onesie. No devices, no gimmicks. When you're done, you'll be able to amass and unleash quantities of source so great that Lucian himself would blush. I quite look forward to seeing it. Oh, she's got one of those things in Driftwood, you know, the building where people go and they do things inside of it. A home, that's it. She's got a home in Driftwood. Give me your map. There you are. Tell her I sent you, and she'll handle the rest. You're at the beginning of a long journey, Godwoken. Long, but exceedingly interesting. Now, I must be going, and so must you. Shopping. Why, our faithful little sloop, of course. We can all ride together. But before you go, if I'm not back by the time you find out where our journey takes us next, you can call me back here. Tell the ship. She'll know how to summon me. And in the unlikely case you don't manage to do whatever it is you'll need to do to become what you need to become, you could call me, but I would be grateful if it doesn't come to that.
Oh, you catch me during a meditative moment. Gods, voids, a perilous journey through the Hall of Echoes. One wonders whether one is awake or dreaming. In that case, it's high time we return to the order of the day, which in my case is still the domain of dreams, of course. Ramos the Wanderer told me to meet him in Driftwood. So, to Driftwood we must go. I can only hope it will be a town of opulence and plenitude, despite its rather discouraging name.
Hey, before we dash off into the wild world yonder, I should mention, Malady and I had a talk on the way here. All right. Oh, sure. It's just, Malady mentioned the thing in my head's probably a demon, and that there's someone close to where we're headed who might be able to help me with it. Are you afraid of me now? Well, that's something. We'd better get going.
Hail, friend, and remember, in Lucian's love there can be no wrong. Paradise awaits, my friend. Not an actual paradise, of course. I don't think there's such a place in all of Rivellon. Paradise Downs. My parents still sow the soil there. And if the Order hadn't called me to its ranks, I'd still call their farm my home. I miss it. I miss them. They've been forever understanding of my duty. But I admit, I've been neglectful. I have some wrongs to right. I expect Malady has an answer to that. It seems she's got it all in hand.
You can put a price on the warriors I have for hire, but you can't put a price on the glory they'll win you. No one's ever regretted having anyone in a fight. Guarantee you that. Allies for hire.
The sergeant doesn't seem interested in talking to you. The angelic figure stands upon a mosaic that depicts a dragon, and you feel weightless, as if lifted by a silent wind. For just a moment, your mind is... A dying shark lies gasping on the sand, bleeding from the mouth and gills. It turns its dark and soulless eyes to you. Its bloody gills open in search of water, but it gasps in the air, struggling for the breath to speak.
No! Die here! Monsters in the water! Monsters in the deep! Monsters bigger! More and more growing!
It looks at you with its cold, flat eyes as if to say, do what you will. Then... it looks at you with its cold...
Hurts, doesn't it? What happened here?
That White Walker had someone on the horse.
Yield to none. mine.
Magister caravan. I remember one just like this picking me up. It could have been a shipment to Fort Joy. What happened here?
No, no, no! Can't be real. Not real. Not happening. No, not true. Can't be true. No, no, no! true. No.
Lucky
no,
find.
No. Can't be real. Not real. Not happening. No, it's not true. Can't be true. No, no, no. Can't be real. Not real. Not happening. No, it's not true. Can't be true. No, no. Can't be real. Not real. Not happening. No, it's not true. Can't be true. No, no, no. Not real. Not here, Fox. No, it's not true. Can't be true. No, no, no.
White as driftwood salt, the dwarf flinches at your approach, yet she holds a short, clean blade aloft.
Back! Get back! I'll kill you, just like the rest of them.
Shh, lass. I know you're all afraid. In times like these, I don't blame you. But I ain't out to hurt you. Now, why don't you take a few breaths and tell me what happened?
She slumps, all bravado draining from her.
No. I've never seen anything like those beasts before. Are they gone?
Voidwalking, you mean? Poor thing. No wonder you were scared. I'd be scared too.
Those? Yes. Worst ones I've ever seen. Ripped through the Magisters. The dwarves. Dead. 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 And the sorcerers. Sorcerers. Gone.
Her eyes stare vacantly into the distance, glassy as marbles. It's not cold, yet her shivering is relentless.
I don't know. I don't know. Oh, Duna's beard. Lohar. My boss, Lohar, will want to know what happened to them, but I can't remember.
Lohar, eh? Where will I find this boss of yours?
Oh, well, you'll find him in Effie's Emporium, neath the Black Bull. He's a fine man. A little gruff, yeah, but he's the only one in Driftwood wanting to help and not hurt.
She looks up at Beast through tear-stained eyes, but you can see her resolve hardening as she remembers who she is and what she stands for.
Oh, Seven sympathy. I saw those things dragging the sorcerers along the cliffs towards the Wrecker's caves. No more. It's gone.
She flinches at the slightest rustle of wind through the long grass. Terror in her eyes, she stumbles away from you.
Not much of a landlubber, but sometimes I get no choice in the matter. Besides, there's business to take care of.
type. Egg thief. I knew it. I found the culprit. Tell that to Big Marge, if you dare.
Eggy, Eggy, gone, gone. Baby Eggy gone for good. Help! 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 Marge! Marge knows. Marge saw. Ask Marge.
Did you hear? The eggs are gone. Gone for good. No one to keep them warm. No, not my eggs, our eggs. All the family, all the eggs, every last.
They were stolen! The babies! The eggs! Something took them! Big! Big as a cow! Big as a house! And many, many legs! Too many! If I showed you, you could bring them back! You could bring them back! Map! Show me your map!
In a flurry of feathers, she leaps up and pecks a small hole in your map.
That's where they are. I went after my babies. I saw where they went. But they've changed so much, so much, much. Bring them back. Ah!
A scruffy kid bounds up and stands before you, hands on hips. He stares at your face, doubt screwing up his features.
You Ben Mez. Yep, that's just what he said you'd say, Ifan. Righto, got a message for you. Chap called Baron Laveri wants to see you. Black Bull Tavern, first floor.
The kid shoves his hands in his pockets and ambles off, whistling an off-key tune. Be grateful that you don't feel the need.
Get yourself in check, boy. I won't have you running off like Millicent and Tully. You'll just end up sliding down some Voidwoken's gross gullet piece by piece.
The older-looking Magister notices your presence. He wipes his grubby hands downward across his greaves, as if to wipe away the grime.
Halt, dwarf! What word do you bring?
His face goes pale, and his eyes open wide. The Magister that greeted you remains stiff, as if enduring a harsh wind.
The Voidwoken come.
Hush, Fader. You may pass, traveller. Dare say you'll be aching to leave before long anyway. But before you do, find Raymond, the White Magister. He'll want to know what you... Be quick, mind. He's set to sail any moment.
He nods his head in the direction of the bridge, but...
As long as you stay put, you'll be safe.
Are you sure? Them sorcerers from the caravan?
They'd be daft to come back. And as long as there's no sorcerers, there's no void woken. You're fine as long as you don't go wandering.
The Magister smiles, but he does not make eye contact with you. He shifts his weight from the left foot to the right.
Thank the Seven I've Aldous to guide me in these times. He allows me to borrow a bit of courage from him when I need. It's only a matter of time, you know? Outside Driftwood, not even the sharpest blades can protect us from those... things. Inside, a killer roams. One with a Magister grudge, it seems. Our numbers dwindle. I'm hardly fit to protect. I only hope to survive. I know they disappear without a sign. Magister Carver's looking into it, but it's been so long since we've talked, a dwarf could have grown 3 beards by now. Farewell.
As long as you stay put, you'll be safe.
Are you sure? Them sorcerers from the caravan?
They'd be daft to come back. And as long as there's no sorcerers, there's no void woken.
The silent monk's stitched lips are the colour of sea ice. The expected happens.